Hey, what's up, fellow YouTubers, fellow toy nuts and toy collectors? This is Starscream 1988. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. Yes, I know it's not a toy haul, it's not a toy unboxing, it's not a toy review. I'm doing a comic book to animation synopsis. Why am I doing this? The idea actually came to me from a buddy of mine. I went to my local comic book store and we were talking about videos and stuff, and we were kind of going back and forth of what we think of certain animation studios. Who's lacking, Marvel, who's doing well, DC. But yeah, so he came down, he's like, oh, don't you have a YouTube channel? I said, yeah, I do toys and stuff. He's like, start doing some video reviews, start doing some comics, people love that stuff. I said, all right, you know what, I will, but I want to do something a little bit different. And so I thought of this, comic book art to animation, how it's progress, how it's changed. Is it helping, is it hurting? Either or. I think at the end of the day, it's actually helping. This came out in 2007, and this was DC's kind of rehash of their animation studios on the Warner Brothers side anyway, because obviously Warner Brothers owns all of it, or the whole shebang. But they had done some stuff before, like what it was, it's Superman. I'm sorry, not Superman. They had done like the Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. They had done the Batman Mr. Freeze, and they had done in the theaters we got to see the Batman Phantasm and all that, Mask of the Phantasm. But when they actually they kind of had a period where they kind of stopped for a little bit, it seems, and all of a sudden they started coming out with these movies, and they actually started coming out after Teen Titans was pretty much done. And Teen Titans was a cool cartoon, nothing like the comic book at all, because obviously the comic book's a little bit more intense, definitely for teens, hence the name Teen Titans. But it was still really good. It was a lot of fun. So here comes this idea to kind of start this new Warner Brothers premiere line. And what did they decide to do? Well, they decided to use the content of the Death of Superman. Now this year is actually, it's actually past come and gone, and it's funny that because of the New 52, DC's kind of almost forgotten of their past, and they don't really want to acknowledge the past. I know they're all about going forward, so is any other company, but I really think they kind of made a mistake in not showcasing this a little bit more. This year was the 20th anniversary of the Death of Superman. It was huge. I mean, this was heard in Europe, Asia, even probably Africa. I mean, it was huge. It hit all the newspapers. It was in Yahoo. Actually, were there even computers back then? No, they were. but probably AOL online at the time, American Online. But no, it hit all the news outlets. It was just huge. It sold out. The reason they made this book and the reason they killed Superman. There's a little movie in 1989 called Batman, and that movie, Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman are DC Comics' Holy Trinity. I mean, those are their biggest three characters. By far, nothing else can touch them. Maybe now the closest thing would probably be Green Lantern. Green Lantern himself has gotten to a huge status when he was popular, but nowhere near like he needs to have 2 titles, 4 titles even now, or whatever. But yeah, Batman was already doing a little bit better than Superman, and Superman titles were actually slumping in sales because of that little movie in '89 that came out called Batman, and Batman just skyrocketed. I mean, it was all about Batman. I mean, people were you were picking up Batman, Detective Comics, Legends of the Dark Knight, Batman: Shadows of the Bat. I mean, it was just incredible. He had 4 titles. So did Superman, but those 2 out of the 4 titles were titles that already kind of previously existed, like Action Comics and the Adventures comics, which then became Adventures of Superman, stuff like that. It was Superman, then Adventures Superman, and back to Adventures and whatever. It's really convoluted, but if you really want to get into it, you can kind of check all that out. So then you got these guys. You got Dan Jurgens, you got Jerry Ordway, Louis Simonson, Roger Stern, all these guys, and there's a couple other writers too that are not even actually credited here. All these guys decided to kill off Superman, and it was huge. It was something that people were just, I mean, you can't, to the era of when this came out, it was just big. People couldn't believe it. The whole bringing, we all kind of knew that Superman would be back, but the general populace didn't. And so that made the book even that much more popular. I mean, it was like super pop culture. And, you know, I guess you got to give it up to Mike Carlin being the editor at the time for DC. It was his idea, and plus obviously all the other writers, you know, put their minds into it. But it was a really good idea, and it just really, it put DC for like the next 3 or 4 months. They were #1 in sales. Nothing could touch the Superman books. As a matter of fact, the first 3 or 4 issues of the storyline were reprinted up to 3 times on some of the books. So it was a big deal. As a matter of fact, let me kind of show you. I'm going to show you the back or the covers, but I'm going to show you this here. Hopefully it'll focus. So if you've never picked these up, if you're new to comics, come on, focus for me, baby. Come on. There we go. So these are the books. So you can take a couple seconds to write that down. Only because I'm going to show you the covers, but the covers are kind of tough to focus on in terms of the actual number. So hopefully that helps. And yeah, actually, I picked this up back in, where is it? I don't know if you can see it there anywhere. Yeah, that's my first printing back in 1993. So that's really, really cool right there. First printing. Printed in Canada. Hey? So, this is the actual covers there. That's the one that starts it all. And it's kind of funny because, again, they show you here that's the 3rd printing of that book. So that got all the way up to a 3rd printing. I don't know how many they were printing then, but 2nd print, 2nd print, 2nd print. And then these never made it to a 2nd print because at that point they were probably making more. This originally actually came in a black bag for the direct edition. All you saw was Superman's emblem, and it's all bloody. It's really, really cool. I'll show you a couple of spreads here. There's Doomsday getting out. And I know I haven't talked about the animation, but that'll come in a second. I just kind of want to show you this first. There he is finally coming out. Something that's not in the book is the Justice League. I'm sorry, in the animation. There's the Justice League there. They make an appearance, and they honestly get their butts handed to them. I think that's actually the first encounter of Doomsday and Superman. As you can see, actually, I don't know if you can tell, but Doomsday is actually... where is it? Doomsday's actually... he was only able to have one arm loose. That's how he escapes. He actually still has an arm tied behind him in his containment suit and all these, like, whatever material that harness is supposed to be. But eventually, obviously, he does break free. There he is already starting to show what his face looks like and whatever not, and very cool stuff. There he actually killed a person. I mean, that's pretty crazy. He just cracked his, snapped his neck. So it's really good stuff. So going back to, obviously I've given you a little bit, hopefully a little history of why, or why it was creating whatever not. Now, in terms of the animation, if you have seen the animation, so the animation came out, like I said, in 2007. That was, quite a few years ago now, what, 5 years? So, it's, in terms of its progression, this had, coming out 15 years later, or whatever, 14, 15 years later, it's very different from the book. Hopefully, you've seen the movie and you've read the book, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. But I guess I'm really doing this more for the new subscriber out there. Maybe you're getting into comics for the first time ever. I know I've met a lot of young guys, young girls too, that only started collecting when the New 52 came out. And so they don't know about this history. And so even if they've gone back and they've picked up Superman Doomsday, they're like, oh, when did Superman die? Well, that's when it happened. And it was a big deal. Again, differences from the comics to the animation. No Justice League. They don't make an appearance in the movie. The movie actually gives you his death and his rebirth. So something that obviously this didn't cover, as you have to get the resurrection of Superman. And in that, you get introduced for the first time ever the new Superboy. You get introduced to Cyborg Superman. You get introduced to Steel, which actually had his own movie. That was Shaquille O'Neal. Pretty bad movie, but that's who that's based off of, John Irons. And then the Eradicator, which is this other Superman that's real crazy looking and stuff. He's awesome, but he's kind of good guy, bad guy type of thing. But yeah, so you get that in the subsequent issue after these. Here you do get his rebirth, but you just don't get to see those characters either. So that's where that changes a lot. Now, if you're gonna ask me at the end of the day, what do I think of the Superman Doomsday movie? I actually like it. I think it's a really good representation of the storyline, minus all the stuff that they had to take away. I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta understand, this is 78 minutes long, and there's only so much you can cover, so you have to condense it ridiculously. Now, could they have made a series out of it? Absolutely. You know, they could have done the Deaths of Superman in 26 episodes, kind of like, you know, like a small run, how Avengers, they do their storyline for Avengers Assemble and all those cartoons and stuff that have come out in the past couple years. So you could do a Death of Superman, but you know, I think their thinking is, you know, if you're not gonna have Superman for like almost 10 episodes, baby, because maybe you would have him for like the first 6, then you would have to have the new cast: Superboy, Eradicator, Cyborg, Steel. Now you have to have them for what, 10, 15 episodes, whatever it is, 10 episodes, and then you bring Superman back. That's probably a lot for people to swallow. At the end of the day, the in terms of marketing, who's pushing the storyline? It's Superman. So for not to have Superman for, like, let's say even 10 out of 26 episodes, or let's just say you do a, I don't know, 5-episode series, an hour each. Even then, though, to not have Superman in 1 or 2 episodes, that's a lot to ask for people to say, well, why am I watching this? Superman's not even in it. So I think that's why they kind of have to change things in terms of animation style, and just kind of like condense it. You have to lose a lot of it. Comics is very different. Comics, I think, are a little bit more forgiving. Fans will keep on reading it because it's, you know, at the last page, it's to be continued a lot of times. So you pick up the next issue and you'll keep going, and you'll do up to 20, 38 issues before Superman comes back, and you're like, yeah, I knew he'd be back. You can't get that, I think, out of animation, because you can just tune off. If a little kid's turning it on, do you really want to show Superman being bloodied up? Probably not. So I think that's why they have to do what they do. Now, in terms of a movie, you know, these are really more for, these are PG. Some are PG-13, like the Batman Gotham Knights, and I think there's 1 or 2 other ones. So I think that's why they can kind of get away with it. Another character that's actually not even in any page here, I believe. I'm pretty sure, because I just, like I said, I read it the day before yesterday. But Lex Luthor's not in it, and he's actually the main protagonist for the bad guy, you know, for the villain in this. So that was really cool. I like the fact that they include him in that, and they made it made it very different. So again, I won't say any more, because I really think that you should pick up either or. I really think you should read The Death of Superman first, as it is the super extended cut. It's the real deal, and then you can watch Superman Doomsday, and you can kind of just go from there and be like, okay, well, that's cool, or that's not cool. I do feel that by doing that, I guess that, I mean, I'm the one telling you to do it that way. Or suggesting, I should say. Sorry, I'm not telling you to do anything, I'm just suggesting. You might, I guess, critique Superman Doomsday more, so maybe you should watch Superman Doomsday. It just depends how you are as a person. If you know that if you read literature and then you watch the movies that they belong to it, and you never like the movies, you know, I remember reading The Pelican Brief. When I watched the movie, I was like, bleh, it's horrible. And so I try not to do that anymore. A good, actually, and this is kind of off topic, something that I did as an adult now, I never read those Harry Potter books. I watched the movies first. I think I watched 1 through 4 first, and then I decided to go back and read the books. And it was cool, because when I read the books, they felt like extended cuts. I'm like, oh wow, that wasn't in the movie, you know, that other character, this and that. So I because of that, I do enjoy those movies, and I do like watching it with my wife and you know, friends and whatever not. So I guess that's the end of the synopsis on this particular issue here with Superman Doomsday, The Death of Superman. I definitely do suggest both, but I do think at the end of the day, if I have to give you an opinion, The Death of Superman is just a little bit nicer. So I hope this helps if you are new into collecting. Maybe you're a young person and you've seen this in the aisles and you're like, I don't know, should I get it? Yeah, you should. It's pretty cool. So you can go either way. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. I do appreciate it. Please rate, comment, subscribe, share, thumbs up if you do like this video. Tell all your friends about it. You guys take care. Peace. Later. And happy New Year, guys. You guys be safe out there. For those of you that are my age group, no drinking and driving, guys. Let's keep the road safe. I want to see you guys all back commenting. I don't want to hear any horrible news from anybody. You guys take care, man. Peace. Later.